right, joining me now is my guest for this hour, litigation trial attorney Rich Schoenstein is still here. Rich, you know, this is South Carolina. There's a lot going on down there. We've gotten to know some of the attorneys in the case, man. This one is, they're fighting hard. A lot of the filings in this case, particularly by the defense, and the prosecution has been accused of leaks by the defense. I think some of these motions are to get information out there that sort of bolsters their defense and bolsters the defendant. Your thoughts on some of these allegations? And I'll begin with the blood spatter allegations. They're saying, look, state did something here that's egregious. They shouldn't be allowed to use that evidence at all. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, Michael, when I think about this case overall, to use technical legal jargon, is this is a completely bonkers, crazy case. Yes. A guy with an incredible fall from grace and so much stuff going on in his life. The issue with the blood spatter is interesting. You know, I would think the judge would be inclined to leave this for the jury. If there is a blood spatter expert the prosecution's going to let him put on the expert. If the defense has issue with the way the blood spatter evidence was secured or tested or some other expert, then the defense ought to be able to put that on as well, and the jury gets to decide. That's usually the way you work through these expert issues. I guess if it crosses a certain threshold of being evidence that appears to have been tampered with or destroyed, maybe a judge would exclude it entirely, but I think he would be hesitant to do that.
Yeah, fair enough. You know, you put all this in front of the jury, let them decide how this all played out. I agree with you there. The other thing they were asking for is a clarification of motive, because they want to know what about the motive relates to these financial crimes? Because there's a claim that he killed his wife and son to kind of get some money so he could pay off some of these other issues that he had. Your thoughts on their requesting that? I don't know if it crosses the line into work product, but they want that information. Otherwise, they say this trial could go on for a very long time as they try to sift through the 1,000,000 pages of discovery they got from the state.
Yeah, you're so good, Michael. You know exactly where the issue is. If they have the evidence that the prosecution is going to use, if they have all the financial records that are going to be put in front of the jury, the defense is not necessarily entitled to know exactly how the prosecution is going to present that. That is their work product, we call it, attorney work product. It's their strategy, it's their plan for the trial, and the defense isn't necessarily entitled to know all of that. They're entitled to have the evidence and understand what the allegations are.
Exactly, not entitled to trial strategy, and it looks like that's what they might be looking for here. All right, Rich Schoenstein, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Always a real pleasure to have you on the show. We'll be speaking to you again soon. As we move ahead now to our next hour, folks, the jury is behind closed doors in Texas deciding if a former Border Patrol agent is a serial killer. As we told you earlier, they did have a question. We'll have a live report from the courthouse coming up next, plus another day of important testimony from our other Texas trial. We're going to break down the day's biggest testimony in our debrief of the killed while babysitting trial. Plus, we're hours away from a bond hearing for the OnlyFans model charged in the killing of her boyfriend. It's just one of the hearings we're keeping an eye on in our Court TV calendar. Keep it here on Court TV.